Now right down here, there's a sand pit on either side of the road, and these sand pits were tended to. They weren't owned by, but they were tended to by an old character named Bucky Leach. And I sold Bucky a loader, and man, I tried for months, and everybody said you'll never sell him anything. And I said, well, you know, he's a good source of information. My sales manager at the time asked me, why do you stop up there? You're never going to sell him anything. And I said, well, you know, he's a good source of information. He knows everything that's going on in the area. And I go up there and take him a coffee, and we sit and talk. And he's a nice guy. And who knows? Maybe I will sell him something. And my salesman manager said, I'll bet you a steak dinner anywhere you want to have it that you never sell him anything. And one day I went up there to the sand pit, and Bucky had all old, used, really almost used up equipment. And one day I went up there and he said, hey, what do you got up there on the lot for 644 loaders? He said, you got anything with hours on it? I said, yeah, we got a few. He said, well, let's take a ride. I loaded him in my car, took a ride up there. I showed him which ones had hours on them and that he could try them out. And came in. Next thing I know, he said, I'll take that one with 700 hours on it. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, how do you want to pay for it? You want to finance it? Or I said, no, I'll pay cash. He said, you'll pay cash? Yeah. I said, Bucky, it's $165,000. He said, I know. I kind of figured that would be around that price. And the guy wrote me a check. And if you saw this guy, you'd never believe it. He looked like a homeless person. I mean, seriously. You know, a worn-out old T-shirt. The guy had 9 earrings in each ear. I mean, he was never clean-shaven, but he never had a beard. He was just always kind of, his hair wasn't done. You know, I mean, he was, but salt of the earth. I mean, this guy was salt of the earth, just the nicest man. He was a diabetic. He always had stuff in his car in case he had a diabetic attack, and, you know, just a nice guy. Lived across the street from his parents in the upstairs of a garage. I think they might have owned it. He was definitely a hoarder. I mean, you couldn't walk into that garage without turning sideways. There was so much stuff. But again, just the nicest guy in the world. And as I said, to look at him, he looked like a homeless person, which is why everybody said you'll never sell him anything. And on top of it, I took one of his machines in trade, and he said to me, how much will you give me for this? And I told him, and he said, okay. He said, but I said, when can I come and pick it up? And he said, oh, you don't have to pick it up. He said, there's a guy over here. Matter of fact, over in Mount Vernon. He said, go over there and see this guy. He'll buy it from you for that price. I said, okay. He pre-sold the machine for me, really. So, just one of those things, you know. It's I'm one of those guys. I never judge a book by its cover, ever. And that philosophy has, I would say, served me well over the years. People are people. No matter what the exterior looks like, people are people. And for the most part, if you treat people well, they'll treat you well. It's just kind of one of the rules of life, I'd say.